BBPOS is an all-in-one software for coffee shops. Point of sale, online ordering, mobile ordering, employee scheduling, payroll, you name it, we pretty much have a feature for it.
For us, it's very important to have a seamless, frictionless experience for the customers. We want them to be able to order when they want, how they want. The new Stripe S700 device is very sleek, minimal, modernist design, which fits really well with our brand. If there's a rush, we can pull it out from the counter and open 2 POS registers, or we can fulfill orders at the customer's table or at pop-ups that we do as well.
Now we can put all the things we have, like loyalty, receipts, tipping, onto the reader. It's basically like the registry unit, but on the go.
We get to focus on building these other tools by Stripe enabling us to not have to worry about some of the painful parts of doing payments.
Building the right in-person payments experience requires both great software and great hardware. That's why we designed Stripe Reader, an easy-to-use mobile card reader that accepts chip, contactless, and swipe payments with end-to-end encryption. You can pair it with accessories for taking payments at your countertop and on the go, or you can even use our design file to 3D print your own accessories. Stripe Reader works with Terminal's APIs and SDKs to enable you to customize your in-person payments experience and deploy hardware at scale. And it's all seamlessly integrated with the rest of Stripe, so you can create a unified commerce solution for any kind of business.
We're here at 12 Pell, a barbershop located in the heart of Chinatown. Best slice in the city, that's what we call it. When creating the modern barbershop experience, we kind of dialed in on what our lifestyle is like. And because everything is digital for us, we realized we have all the technology that we need already in our hands through our phones.
So for hearts, nothing too high on top. 60-40, 70-30 splits work best.
Tap to Pay is like a feature out of a movie. It's so futuristic, and it's one less piece of hardware that we have to worry about as a shop. Being able to pull out your credit card in the chair, tap it to your barber's phone, and walk away with a few clicks of the button is amazing. That seamless technology and the integration with Squire lets us deliver a next level premium experience. We don't have to worry about payments, and it allows us to do what we do best, so that your time in the chair is only doing what matters, and that's spending time with your barber and the boys.
Time no see. Oh, too good. How are you? How you doing?
At Alaska, we want to provide remarkable day of travel experiences.
We kindly ask that everyone puts their tray tables up, fastens their seatbelts.
We have over 1,200 flights a day. That's tens of thousands of guests. So innovation is necessary from the ground all the way to 40,000 feet. That's why we're partnering with Stripe to implement Apple's Tap to Pay on iPhone. It's an in-person, contactless payment solution on all of our domestic Alaska Airlines flights using only an iPhone.
Awesome, thank you.
No extra hardware. It's intuitive, it's easy to use, and it's built with all of the privacy and security of iPhone we already know and trust. It's simplifying operations for our entire team, and there's no extra training required. It's more efficient for our business, and it helps our flight attendants focus on that personal experience with the guest. With Tap to Pay on iPhone and Stripe, we're able to deliver on this promise and really double down on what makes us who we are.
We hope you enjoyed our flight this evening, and we will be on the ground soon.
Are you spending too much time handling, processing, checking cash for your business? We think we can help. Introducing BBPOS, the inventor of MPOS technology. We are known throughout the payment transaction industry for developing systems and services ahead of technology trends. We help you create secure, high-quality, flexible and affordable payment solutions that deliver the highest standards of security in any environment. BBPOS understands that it is critical that your business runs smoothly. For that, payment transactions must be secure, quick and easy for your customers. So instead, you can focus on providing the best service possible for them. Our payment solutions will reduce your costs and save you time to market. Leading on innovation, our new Smart POS technology will bring your transactions into the next generation. And our smart retail systems will do the same for your business. All with BBPOS.
Stripe is about growing the GDP of the internet. In the most recent calendar year that we published results for, 2023, Stripe processed more than $1 trillion of payments globally. Stripe acquired BBPOS in 2022. Part of our ambitions is to continue to have more in-person commerce products, and BBPOS is key to that because they help us design those products. We work on different areas of the stack in the US and Taiwan and Hong Kong. They're focused on some of the lower level software areas as well as hardware. The talent available in the Taiwan and Taipei market is unmatched in regards to embedded engineering and hardware design and software engineering.
Collaboration and trust and respect. So we work together very nicely and we try to solve the problem together. We know that we can trust each other. Whatever we promise, we're going to deliver. And more importantly, we have the kind of a self-respect, for ourselves and also for others. Nico just mentioned that, we work together. I think this is not just us, we do just kind of execution. We actually participate in the discussion of the requirements. So it is quite fulfilling. But the important part is about, we are able to kind of talk to a person. So there's no such thing as like bureaucracy, or you have to go through certain channels, to get information that, especially like Nico, every time you ask a question, well, probably within a few minutes, you get an answer.
At the same time, we don't encourage people to work around the clock all the time. Like, that's not reasonable, right? I actually live in Florida. I live 12-hour time zones off of Weiming, and we still work really collaboratively together. We encourage the teams to kind of cluster their meetings and their overlap with each other into sort of 1 or 2 days a week so that you have like some reliability and predictability for your home life. So really what the interview process is like is it's a live programming round. You can expect a very practical programming interview. We're going to ask you to solve a problem in the interview. It's meant to be collaborative. So the interviewer will help you along sometimes if you get stuck, or maybe sort of point you in the right direction. But we really want to see your ability to solve problems and how you unblock yourself when you do hit a problem, and your ability to debug your own code. We need a candidate who's going to walk on the unpaved path to figure out the solutions themselves.
So there's one thing we want to see from the candidate is called the thinking out loud. If you just give me an answer and say, it's fine, of course it's going to be a good one, right? But we are missing that very important part of your thinking process, because that's going to give a very good indication about how you're going to work. Second one is probably just concentrate on the fundamentals. You are very, very familiar with the system. I think the third one is about the scope. We want you to have a kind of a system view. You know what the whole system is like, because otherwise, your changes or your implementation might have some kind of unwanted side effect.
Humbleness is really important to how we work, right? There's always some things to learn. We look for people who are humble and willing to learn, but also willing to teach others with like generosity and kindness. And the last thing is people who've had a proven track record of delivering impact where they've been. It's important, like that's our job, to deliver features and solve problems for our users. And people with a proven track record of doing that, well, that's a good indicator of success at BBPOS and Stripe.
Nico just mentioned that, last year, Stripe was able to process 1% of the global GDP. That's something, right? But the important part is that, Stripe, BBPOS together, is able to help our merchant customers to collect their money through a very reliable, secure process through Stripe. I think that is a very important contribution. That kind of achievement really is not everywhere. If you like that kind of idea, this is a place for you to fulfill that dream.
It's not often that you work at a company where you're helping thousands of small businesses every day and large businesses to do the work that they need to do. And one of the great things about working at Stripe is we get to hear and talk to our users a lot and find out what matters to them and what's important. And it gives us the opportunity to do the things that are most impactful for them and their business. And that's really rewarding. Join us now and help us create the future together.
BBPOS is an all-in-one software for coffee shops, point of sale, online ordering, mobile ordering, employee scheduling, payroll, you name it, we pretty much have a feature for it.
For us, it's very important to have a seamless, frictionless experience for the customers. We want them to be able to order when they want, how they want. The new Stripe S700 device is a very sleek, minimal, modernist design, which fits really well with our brand. If there's a rush, we can pull it out from the counter and open 2 POS registers, or we can fulfill orders at the customer's table or at pop-ups that we do as well.
Now we can put all the things we have, like loyalty, receipts, tipping, onto the reader. It's basically like the registry unit, but on the go.
We get to focus on building these other tools by Stripe enabling us to not have to worry about some of the painful parts of doing payments.
Building the right in-person payments experience requires both great software and great hardware. That's why we designed Stripe Reader, an easy-to-use mobile card reader that accepts chip, contactless, and swipe payments with end-to-end encryption. You can pair it with accessories for taking payments at your countertop and on the go, or you can even use our design file to 3D print your own accessories. Stripe Reader works with Terminal's APIs and SDKs to enable you to customize your in-person payments experience and deploy hardware at scale. And it's all seamlessly integrated with the rest of Stripe, so you can create a unified commerce solution for any kind of business.
We're here at 12 Pell, a barbershop located in the heart of Chinatown. Best slice in the city, that's what we call it. When creating the modern barbershop experience, we kind of dialed in on what our lifestyle is like. And because everything is digital for us, we realized we have all the technology that we need already in our hands through our phones.
So for hearts, nothing too high on top. 60-40, 70-30 splits work best.
Tap to Pay is like a feature out of a movie. It's so futuristic, and it's one less piece of hardware that we have to worry about as a shop. Being able to pull out your credit card in the chair, tap it to your barber's phone, and walk away with a few clicks of the button is amazing. That seamless technology and the integration with Squire lets us deliver a next level premium experience. We don't have to worry about payments, and it allows us to do what we do best, so that your time in the chair is only doing what matters, and that's spending time with your barber and the boys.
Are you spending too much time handling, processing, checking cash for your business? We think we can help. Introducing BBPOS, the inventor of MPOS technology. We are known throughout the payment transaction industry for developing systems and services ahead of technology trends. We help you create secure, high-quality, flexible and affordable payment solutions that deliver the highest standards of security in any environment. BBPOS understands that it is critical that your business runs smoothly. For that, payment transactions must be secure, quick and easy for your customers. So instead, you can focus on providing the best service possible for them. Our payment solutions will reduce your costs and save you time to market. Leading on innovation, our new Smart POS technology will bring your transactions into the next generation. And our smart retail systems will do the same for your business. All with BBPOS.
Stripe is about growing the GDP of the internet. In the most recent calendar year that we published results for, 2023, Stripe processed more than $1 trillion of payments globally. Stripe acquired BBPOS in 2022. Part of our ambitions is to continue to have more in-person commerce products, and BBPOS is key to that because they help us design those products. We work on different areas of the stack in the US and Taiwan and Hong Kong. They're focused on some of the lower level software areas as well as hardware. The talent available in the Taiwan and Taipei market is unmatched in regards to embedded engineering and hardware design and software engineering.
Collaboration and trust and respect. So we work together very nicely, and we try to solve the problem together. We know that we can trust each other. Whatever we promise, we're going to deliver. And more importantly, we have the kind of a self-respect, for ourselves and also for others. Nico just mentioned that, we work together. I think this is not just us, we do just kind of execution. We actually participate in the discussion of the requirements. So it is quite fulfilling. But the important part is about, we are able to kind of talk to a person. So there's no such thing as like bureaucracy, or you have to go through certain channels, to get information that, especially like Nico, every time you ask a question, well, probably within a few minutes, you'll get an answer.
At the same time, we don't encourage people to work around the clock all the time. Like, that's not reasonable, right? I actually live in Florida. I live 12-hour time zones off of Weiming, and we still work really collaboratively together. We encourage the teams to kind of cluster their meetings and their overlap with each other into sort of 1 or 2 days a week, so that you have like some reliability and predictability for your home life. So really what the interview process is like is it's a live programming round. You can expect a very practical programming interview. We're going to ask you to solve a problem in the interview. It's meant to be collaborative. So the interviewer will help you along sometimes if you get stuck, or maybe sort of point you in the right direction. But we really want to see your ability to solve problems and how you unblock yourself when you do hit a problem, and your ability to debug your own code. We need a candidate who's going to walk on the unpaved path to figure out the solutions themselves.
So there's one thing we want to see from the candidate is called thinking out loud. If you just give me an answer, you say, it's fine. Of course, it's going to be a good one, right? But we are missing that very important part of your thinking process, because that's going to give a very good indication about how you're going to work. Second one is probably just concentrate on the fundamentals. You are very, very familiar with the system. I think the third one is about the scope. We want you to have a kind of a system view. You know what the whole system is like, because otherwise, your changes or your implementation might have some kind of unwanted side effect.
Humbleness is really important to how we work, right? There's always some things to learn. We look for people who are humble and willing to learn, but also willing to teach others with like generosity and kindness. And the last thing is people who've had a proven track record of delivering impact where they've been. It's important, like that's our job, to deliver features and solve problems for our users.
And to our event, Engineering Meetup. Are you ready to drive global impact? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you all for coming all the way. I know it's raining outside, but you guys still made it all the way to this event. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm the host for today. My name is Coco from Cake, and it's such a pleasure to come and meet with all of you. So we have, this is an event for 3 hours, and this is going to be the agenda for today, right? So right now we're at opening, and we have introduction of BBPOS with great pleasure that we have our CEO Edward of BBPOS to join us and introduce about BBPOS. And we'll have a fireside chat by Nicole, Senior Engineer Leader of Stripe Terminal, and also Wei Ming, the Head of Taiwan at BBPOS. And now, and around 2:45, we're gonna have a short break. So rest assured for those that are not going through interviews, or whether or not you can still network with the recruiters and the engineers. They're coming all the way from the United States, from Hong Kong, all right? So grab this chance to talk with them, all right? And we'll start another panel discussion with amazing engineering team from BBPOS and Stripe at 3. And we'll have employees' career stories. These are team members of BBPOS engineering team in Taiwan. All right, so we will, majority of the session will be conducted in English. So if you guys need some help with the translation, you can open the Google Translation app or the website, to go through the translation, right? And the last part, the employee career stories will be in Mandarin. And then that will be the most important part, the speed interview, right? And around, you'll see around this space, 2 sides of the room are BBPOS recruiters. That's going to conduct a speed interview with all of you today. And so you guys can mingle around. We're going to have space for you guys to talk to each other with the recruiters and the engineers as well. All right? Rest assured, it's going to be a nice and insightful session. All right? And today's event would also be live streamed online. So you guys can also replay and rewatch it after this. We'll also have some of the participants online. Hello, everyone online. Nice to meet you all. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Edward, CEO of BBPOS.
Thank you, Coco. 大家下午好。就像 Coco 讲的，这非常欢迎大家可以在这个大雨还是过来。其实我们今天一直在想，其实我自己个人一直在想，哎，今天没有下雨，9点钟没有下雨，10点钟没有下雨，最后等到1点15分开始下雨。So anyway, it is what it is. I'm glad everyone is here, and thank you for joining us. This is our second recruiting event in Taipei. The first one was very, very successful. I'll get into how our team has grown. But what I'm going to do now is share a little bit about BBPOS, how we fit in with Stripe, and our vision for what we want to do here in Taiwan. So as Coco mentioned, right, Stripe acquired BBPOS in March of 2022. So we are now past the three-year anniversary. And we've been doing a lot of work, not only to integrate our teams, but also to expand. So first, let's talk about why Stripe decided to acquire BBPOS, right? So everyone knows Stripe is a huge payments company, right? Fintech company. However, what you may not know is Stripe also does a lot of in-person payments, right? What we call card-present payments. And the extension into these in-person payments is all these payment devices, right? So Stripe offers actually a portfolio of first-party, in-house developed, and also third-party partner payment devices. And what Stripe decided is that they wanted, for a competitive advantage, to have an in-house hardware development capability, right? In comes BBPOS, because actually BBPOS was already working with Stripe and was supplying I think 80% of BBPOS's readers were already going to Stripe, right? So it was a very natural synergy for Stripe to just acquire BBPOS and bring the entire BBPOS engineering capability into Stripe Terminal. So that's why Stripe decided to acquire BBPOS. So what do Stripe devices look like, right? Some of you may have saw the video, right? But I always think it's fun as I go around to different places, different customers, different countries, to see if I can spot different payment devices, and specifically Stripe or BBPOS payment devices. So you can see here's an S700, here's a M2, right? And you can see there's many different uses, right? Some are countertop right next to the cash register. Some are mounted on self-checkout devices, right? And some are actually handheld devices, right? So just to familiarize you with how all of our different payment devices are being used out there. So next time you go out, right, see if you can spot a Stripe or BBPOS payment device in the wild, okay? So what does BBPOS look like today, right? So right now, BBPOS has software engineering, hardware engineering, and our manufacturing operations. Software is in our headquarters in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, right, and also in China, right? Hardware is in Hong Kong and in Taiwan, and our manufacturing operations are in Hong Kong and China. So as you can see, right, as I said earlier, right, BBPOS is the extension of Stripe. It's the hardware development capability, right? And that hardware development capability spans across Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China. And so just to get a little bit more specific, we have Hong Kong office headquarters. We have 3 offices in China. We have our office in Taipei. And we also have employees located at our manufacturing partners in Thailand and Malaysia as well. Okay, so just a high-level overview of what does BBPOS look like. Now, the most exciting thing, how has BBPOS Taiwan grown over the years, right? So when I first joined BBPOS in 2022, Jimmy came to me. Jimmy is our chief software officer, and said, "Hey, look, Ed, we need to hire someone in Taiwan." And I was like, "Taiwan? We don't have an office there." He's like, "Yeah, but we really need an Android ROM engineer, and we can only find them in Taiwan." And I said, "I don't even know how we're going to employ someone in Taiwan, but we figured it out." So in 2022, we hired 2 Android ROM engineers, right? And they were integral to the growth and the expansion of our engineering capability. And then we kept it pretty constant, but then we found we're like, actually, there's a lot of talent here in Taiwan, right? So we hired a few more engineers, and then we opened an office, right? So I was here looking for office space in Q4 of 2023, right? And then we brought Wei Ming on board to lead our office, right? And next thing you know, right, we expanded to 18 people, right? I mentioned we had our first recruiting event last July 2024, right? And so we then had, by the end of last year, we had 18 people because that event was very successful. However, our momentum didn't stop there, right? So as of now, I think actually the number is higher than 31. We have almost doubled the number of employees we have in Taiwan, right? And our intention through these recruiting events and meeting all of you that are here today is to continue to build our team in Taiwan. Why? Because there's a lot of talented engineers here, okay? Now, what's next, right? So, I've already said, we want to build BBPOS into world-class R&D center, right? How do we do that? We need to get the best engineers, right? As I already mentioned, Hong Kong and China, they were already part of BBPOS when Stripe acquired BBPOS. We opened Taiwan. You just saw the exponential trajectory growth. Continuing to build and expand our software and hardware engineering capabilities in Taiwan is critical for us to building a world-class R&D center here, right? So I look forward to meeting most of you, having you talk to our team, right? But this event really is for you to find out if BBPOS and Stripe is where you want to continue your next career journey. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Albert, for the insightful sharing. It really gives us a sense of the business strategies and a high-level overview of BBPOS, and it's really excited to see how BBPOS in Taiwan has grown, right? And now we're gonna take a deep dive into how BBPOS and Stripe Terminal team has really worked together. So now up next we're gonna invite Nicole from Senior Engineer Leader of Stripe Terminal. Welcome, Nicole. And Wei Ming, the Head of Taiwan, Head of SDK and Firmware of BBPOS. Let's welcome.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Nicole. I'm one of the eng leaders at Stripe and Stripe Terminal. I have over 20 years of experience with embedded software solutions at places like Motorola and BlackBerry, and I've been with Stripe for almost 5 years now.
Thank you, Nicole. Everybody, my name is Wei Ming, and right now I'm leading the BBPOS Taiwan team in Taiwan. It's been very exciting kind of trip because payment industry is brand new to me. And I joined for about 1.5 years already, but I'm feeling that I'm still learning a lot of things. Before BBPOS, I have got 30 years of experience, working in different kind of industry, mainly in the device development and also the services. I used to work in Amazon, in Cisco, in WebEx, and also in Netscape for many years. So this is really exciting that like our CEO mentioned, we have a chance to build a world-class development center here, and I hope that we can find all the great talents in every one of you to join us. Thank you. All right.
All right, Wayne.
All right. So I think many of you probably are kind of curious how we work together. So, I'm going to ask Nicole, because she has been here for a much long time, especially during the acquisition. What have been the most significant kind of milestones in terms of a collaboration between Stripe and also BBPOS so far?
I think Stripe and BBPOS started working together in 2017 on our very first devices, and in 2020 we launched our very first SmartPOS device, which was Android-based. In 2022, Stripe acquired BBPOS and deepened the relationship, and we launched, I believe in 2023, S700, our very first co-designed product. And we've continued designing products together as a team. And so I think there's been a really lovely journey between the two companies as we've become one, and how closely we've started to work together more over time to design solutions together.
All right, great.
Wei Ming, how do we, BBPOS and Stripe, maintain alignment across global teams to ensure seamless integration experiences for our merchants and developers and users?
All right. Well, this is a wonderful question. There are many ways, we can kind of dissect this one. But I'm going to use this kind of a ramping up kind of a process, as an entry point for this, because I believe this one is probably most related to all the audience today. When you first join a BBPOS team in Taiwan, you will have your own kind of a spin-up plan. This is actually a plan jointly developed between BBPOS kind of engineers and also the Stripe engineers. We want you to have a very, very kind of a good sense of how everything works together within probably anywhere between 4 to 5 weeks kind of time frame. You're going to learn not only all the technical kind of skills necessary for your job, but also how everything works together across the time zone and also across kind of geographical locations. We believe that it takes more than just technical skills to achieve great results. You need to know how do we work together. If you go back to look at our so-called operational principles, we have things about we want to value our customers' kind of requirement, almost like top priority. And also we want everybody, kind of build that kind of a collaboration spirit. And also we want to make sure that, you respect, people, and also you understand, the kind of a trust we need to earn and also to build with each other. And we are going to progress into this kind of a learning kind of a trip to the point that you're actually going to start, building your first kind of the project, inside the BBPOS. And this project is unique in that, it's not just only covering your own kind of a domain, but also it is actually across the whole system, almost like end to end, from the point that, somebody is going to do a payment process to the end, on the backend side, that we can do this kind of a payment processing. And we want you to try, all the things that you probably don't know yet, or you probably are not familiar with it. But, these are the kind of great kind of the experience for not only your own kind of growth, but also for us, to collect, fresh ideas, from you, because you have not been here before. And of course, together, we will hopefully that, we can build confidence and also the kind of the skill set at the levels that we want. That will be the starting point for your journey inside the BBPOS. And we hope that, this is going to help us, moving forward toward our eventual goal.
So following up on that, Wei Ming, what unique strengths does each company kind of bring to the table, and how do those strengths complement each other while we're working to build the next generation of payment solutions?
Okay. I think, at the very top level, you can tell that, those two companies are actually quite complementary. BBPOS started, as a kind of a hardware company, and they are solving the so-called in-person payment kind of the requirements, for our merchant customers. And Stripe, came actually from the backend side, online processing. And then after the acquisition, we actually have a very, very complete kind of a solution for that. So that is great. But I think, there are also things we share, with each other. I just mentioned that, we work together as a team. That collaboration spirit is very important. My partners, in Hong Kong, in US, they don't just treat me as a kind of like a newbies and then you just do whatever, to support us. No, they want us to get involved. They want us to kind of contribute our ideas, to the development process so that, we become very effective and also influential in a way. And then we want this kind of the extent to grow further and further. And also at the same time, we also feel that, we need to learn a lot of things because both companies, BBPOS and Stripe set a very high kind of a standard, for your results. We want to deliver outstanding results, for our customers because we are building mission critical systems, for our customers to collect their money. This is probably the most important task, for our customers. And the last one, I believe that, we want to make sure that, you understand, how to manage your own work and life balance. This is not something that, we tell you how to do that. We actually want you to manage that one. And both sides, BBPOS and Stripe, we provide you, the means and also the environment so that you can achieve them. I think, if you watch the video before, you know that, I say that, within a few minutes, I can always get a response, from Nicole, about, a question or something. But at the same time, we do not expect you to work 24 hours a day. We want you to make this your kind of a growth and also work inside the system very sustainable, because we expect you to be productive for more than 3, 5, 10 years or whatever. And we hope that's something that you can be proud of afterwards. All right. I think, this is a great journey, and then, we're going to look ahead. So Nicole, what are the most exciting kind of opportunities, in terms of the payment kind of processing technology or the opportunity in the future for BBPOS and Stripe?
There are lots of really exciting opportunities in the payments landscape. In-person payments hardware is changing all the time. Every time I go to a store, I see something new or different, whether it's a new unique type of QR code payment or LPM. But the reality is the technology surrounding it is constantly evolving, and we are at the cutting edge of a lot of that on a day-to-day basis. The security requirements for payments are really quite high because people are trusting us with their money. And so I never know what to expect from a day-to-day perspective as some of the security requirements continually evolve. In fact, Jimmy and I had a great conversation this week about post-quantum computing as related to payment security. Had you told me last week that we were going to be talking about that this week, I would have been very surprised to know that. But in reality, this was a main point of topic this week. And I think it's nice to be surprised and get to learn something new every day in our work.
All right.
Thank you so much for the insight for sharing. And of course, after this, we also are opening the Q&A session for every one of you on site. Also, we might have some of the questions online as well. So online participants, feel free to drop your questions on the chat. And first of all, we have pre-collected 3 questions as of now. So the first one is, how is Stripe participating in the AI revolution? Nicole?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Stripe is actually really involved in the AI revolution from a whole company perspective. A large proportion of new AR startups are selecting Stripe as their payment processor of record. So we are getting to collaborate with some of the largest AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, and getting to work with these users on what their needs are. It is really very exciting and interesting to see how they utilize payments technology and what's important to them, like usage-based billing instead of permanent subscriptions, as an example.
Thank you. And the next question is something related to what Wei Ming just mentioned, right? You guys are trying to build a sustainable work life for the employees and the team as well. So what is your work life experience then in BBPOS? So would you share a little bit about your experience? Maybe Nicole can also share yours as well. Yeah.
Well, I might not be the best example because many times I have to deal with issues coming from all sides. Yes, and she's 12 hours ahead behind me. Yeah. But anyways, I mentioned this already that we do not tell you how to manage your work-life balance. We provide your facilities and also environment so that you can manage your work-life balance, right? As a matter of fact, we don't, for example, we don't have a set kind of the work schedule. We don't ask you to clock in or punch in, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to punch out, at certain time. We don't do that. But at the same time, we also understand that, with all agreement, you are going to deliver your results with outstanding kind of quality and also, the end results. So this kind of a trust, is a foundation, for us to know that, many times, you have your needs, to take care of your personal needs, and then we totally understand that one. And at the same time, we know that, you're going to produce your results, as per our expectation. So I think that is an important part. But then again, there are many times, business is really not just kind of a charity. This is a war, to be very blunt, and we have to deal with, outstanding or even kind of unexpected results, right? So there will be opportunity. There will be times that we actually have to deal with kind of unexpected events. That's when we expect everybody to hands-on, to do the all hands on board, to do the work. But after that, we know that we need the time to relax and to kind of relieve our kind of stress. So those are the kind of things we'll be taken care of. But the bottom line is that, we want you to manage your work-life balance, and we will provide the necessary means and environment to help you.
Yeah, I'll just add that I think we're really good about sharing some of the load that goes with operating a global team. And what I mean by this is Wei Ming and I talk multiple times a week. We meet, we work together, but sometimes it's your early morning and my night, and sometimes it's my early morning and your night. And so I think we try and share the load that way a bit, and then we try and group our meetings on just a few days of the week so that are predictable, so that you can plan your family life, you can be at your kid's soccer game, and the things that are important to you. And payments is a 24-hour business. People are participating in commerce all the time. And when things go wrong, we do have team members who are on call, but everybody takes a turn. You know when you're going to be on call, and it's not unexpected. It's something that you can plan your life around.
Wow, that's great. This really helps us to imagine about the work life and the work style. And the last question is also similar to, as Nicole just mentioned, right? You guys are building this in-person payment, and like in a competitive era of in-person payment, what kind of solution is BBPOS and Stripe is trying to offer? Would you guys share with us and walk us through that?
Honestly, we're trying to offer all of the solutions that our users need. And it's not one size fits all. One user might just want to take one payment occasionally from a mobile phone. Another user might need a very sophisticated kiosk where somebody can drive their own checkout and make payment. Another user might want a more traditional experience at a checkout desk. Our goal is to make sure our merchants never miss a payment and that they can have the payment experience that they want to have for their users. And we strive to give them all the building blocks so that they can create it and we can help them create it.
And on top of that, sorry, I cannot review a lot of the roadmaps, we have here. But granted, you're not going to have a dull day, in the office. You are going to have very exciting kind of the kind of things, on your kind of a calendar, on your map. And it's just like, Nico just mentioned, it's post-quantum computing, cryptography. Probably not many people even aware of that, but we are already paying attention to that. So those are the kind of things, we'll put our attention on, and then hopefully we can develop something very good, very exciting, for our customers. And hope, you will be able to learn all the things after you join us.
Thank you. And since we still have a little bit of time, I'd like to open to the floor. If anyone of you have any questions, I'll pass the mic to you. Anyone? We're open for like 5 questions, so you can raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you. Anyone? Yes? All right.
Before Stripe acquired BBPOS and these two companies had collaborated for a while. So what do you find a difference after acquiring BBPOS?
I actually think we collaborate a lot more closely now. I think before Stripe acquired BBPOS, there was always an element of Stripe could use another hardware manufacturer, and maybe we didn't like share and plan our roadmaps quite so closely together. But now leaders from BBPOS and leaders from Stripe, we get together on site twice a year to plan hardware and software programs together in our entire roadmap together as sort of like a unified team. And I think that's a big shift in how we approach, how we run and operate our business.
Okay, thank you.
This is for Wei-Min. You just mentioned cryptography, right? So do support cryptocurrency for your payment in the BBPOS, or going to?
I'll answer this. Stripe does process crypto payments, but actually Stripe recently acquired a company called Bridge, which is very invested in stablecoin. And while we do not yet support in-person stablecoin payments, it is something we're talking about. So it's not a question of if it will be on our roadmap, I think, but when and what that looks like.
Cool, thanks.
If you don't mind, I would just add one more comment there. Even though, on the device level, at least right now, we don't support any kind of cryptocurrencies. But, we all know that, security, reliability, and performance, the top kind of three concerns for the devices. And especially the security part. We don't want people to feel that, it's not safe, to use those devices. And we're going to pay a lot of attention in those areas. As a matter of fact, the whole industry is trying to figure out, what to do. If somehow, in the near future, those encryptions can be kind of defeated, very easily, at least by a certain kind of a state kind of sponsored kind of enterprise. And that's why we are looking into those things. Hopefully, we will be able to work together, to come up with something to help, people to continue feeling safe, using the kind of in-person devices or even online payment for the future.
Thank you. Any more questions? Any more? No? Yeah, okay.
Hi, so I would like to know, what do you think the payment will look like in 10 or 20 years, the payment style? I think probably the QR code payment is rising a bit, and some of the old styles, they have faded. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a really good question, and if I knew the answer to it, I would probably be getting quite a different job than I have now. But I think there's a couple interesting trends, which is taking payments on more surfaces than have been done before, whether that's like a QR code payment or tap to pay on mobile phones. But I think an interesting one, talking about AI a little bit, is agentic commerce and what that actually looks like, and how that translates to both real world and online type of payments. This is a question, is what does commerce look like 5, 10, 20 years down the road, that we ask ourselves in Stripe Terminal and in BBPOS really frequently, and we revisit this a lot. Because we want to make sure we're not building for what our users need today, but for what our users are going to need 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. It's also really important because the life cycle of a payment device is actually a lot longer than a lot of other electronics. People buy payments devices and they keep them for 5, 10, 15 years sometimes. And so the types of constraints and how we think about these devices is just a little bit different than like how I thought about mobile phones when I was at BlackBerry. I don't know if you have anything to add, Wei-Min.
I just want to give you a very interesting kind of comment I received, many times, from my friends and also candidates. They always ask me this question, do you think in the near future, those kind of the payment kind of receiver, the payment readers will become extinct because we do so many online things right now? I think back, I think, look at those online commerces, yes, the prediction at that time was that, wow, those brick and mortar stores, will become extinct, in the near future because everybody goes to do online. And, but, I think, we are still need to do a lot of in-person kind of a transaction.
Do you know how much? Do you know the percentage of in-person commerce swimming?
I have no idea.
78% of all commerce is still in person.
Wow.
So this is still really relevant.
Yes. So if you are afraid that, coming to like a BBPOS, you're going to work on those readers and then you are going to be out of a job, in like 5-10 years, relax, it's not going to happen. We're going to have new kind of innovations, new technologies coming to the extent that, it's kind of totally beyond our imagination.
All right, thank you. So we're gonna have 2 more questions, and just grab the chance.
All right. My name is Wilson, and I'm interested to know that since you plan to expand several job openings in Taipei, I would like to know if you have any plan or missions for the people and expansion here in the near future, or what kind of task target you would like to achieve?
Okay, I will start. I think right now our focus is mostly on the engineers, right? So we are looking for people with the skills, to build the firmware, ROM, SDK, and also the backend and
hardware too.
And hardware. I'm sorry, yes. I'm not sure, which categories you are referring to, but that's kind of our main focus right now. Do you have any specific kind of categories in mind?
Software engineer.
At what level? At what layer?
Because I'm maybe senior.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, we need a senior talents all the time. You are more than welcome to join us. Yes.
I think we're hiring at many levels across all areas of the software stack. From introductory out of university up to senior level engineers.
Yeah, specifically my question is that what is the task regarding the product? What kind of enhancement, probably exciting enhancement for this product? Okay,
I will start. Okay, I will refer back to the slides, from our CEO. The goal is to build a world-class R&D center, right? So when we say world-class, that means, we don't just do implementation and support. We want actually our engineer to also to be able to do development, design, and architecture. And to the point that, if we can actually try to get into the realm of product definition, for the future, that means, we'll be complete and we will be able to make something, for, our customers, to enjoy, to use. So we will not be limited to just do the implementation part, It's a full spectrum of the product development.
And it might be from developing new products with the hardware team and working and collaborating with them on the design and implementation of those new products. It might be unlocking new features and capabilities for products that we already have in the field and adding capabilities on the software stack to enable the hardware that we've already shipped to users.
Thank you. And this is a good question, and I will also suggest that we will release, the positions that we have on BBPOS sites, the hiring positions. If you can be more specific, that'll be even better, right? Connecting with the recruiters and engineers later. All right, great. One last question. Anyone? Oops. Do you want to paper, scissors, stone? Or yeah, paper, yeah, or who? Okay, let's 1, 2, 3, and then who's the fastest? All right. Sorry for that. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hello, Nico and Wei Ming. I'm Steven. Because I think Nico is responsible for software and Wei Ming is responsible for hardware. I think you have some tests on integrating whole system. But because I have a little bit experience on this part, based on my experience, I think it's a really difficult task. I would like to know how do you conquer the challenge during the software and hardware integration in the payment system?
I would clarify first, we are both working on the software side. Hardware, this one.
Both okay. Software side.
But anyway, I think, your key point is about integration. I think that's important. I will let Nicole can answer first.
We do spend a lot of time working closely together to solve problems. We go through the standard sort of hardware development lifecycle process where we have EVT and DVT and PVT. We layer in some of Stripe's early release cycle processes for private preview of these solutions to our users. And as we go through these EVT, DVT, PVT phases, we align the software features and the things that we have to do from a software perspective for each stage with the hardware. For two reasons. One, we want to make sure we're hitting all of our hardware goals and we've unlocked the software to allow them to do that, to validate things, but also that we're unlocking the things we need to unlock on the software side to validate or develop new features. It really is a joint process, and the engineering managers from hardware and software are involved, so are our technical project managers, as are our product managers who are working with our users on a day-to-day basis, letting us know what the key features are that we really need to be investing in.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we do value all of your participation. I would like to still open the question for this guy, for this gentleman.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hello. My name is Kevin. So I have one interesting question and another technical question. So let's go through the interesting question. So as I know, the PayPal will be your biggest competitor. So would you mind to share a bit of your strategy, how you beat this competitor in this world? And can you also share a bit about why you are going to raise the POS system comparing with like cloud payment system only? Okay, that's an interesting question. Thank you.
So this is actually a pretty common misconception. People come to me all the time and they say, oh, is PayPal your biggest competitor or is Square your biggest competitor? Neither of them are our biggest competitors. Probably, I think one of our most comparable competitors that offers a suite of products similar to Stripe is a Dutch company called Adyen. But the thing is, Stripe offers so many different payment products and solutions, from in-person to platforms for users to billing to fraud detection, that there are very few companies that can compete with us head-to-head on all of these areas. And we get a lot of value in selling users our end-to-end product because they can get the most value out of the products then. The second question, and I'm forgetting it already.
Yeah, the second question will be a technical question. So which platform you are using for your POS system? Like, do you use the Qualcomm solution or another solution? I believe it will be the power efficiency solution, but I don't know. Yeah, if you can share a bit. Yeah, thank you.
That is a more complicated question. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's Qualcomm, but yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the question. And we're wrapping this up. Thank you so much for your time, Nicole and Wei Ming. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Coco.
thank you. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you. All right. Before we're entering to a networking session, I'm pretty sure you guys have these questions in your mind already, but let's take a group photo first, all right? So everyone, if you just keep seated, we'll have our photographer to join us on the stage and to help us to take a group photo. So for people that is behind, would you lean a little bit to the center, or else we can't see your face, sorry. Yeah, lean a little bit to the center, is it good? Looks better? Or maybe we should change. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. The BBPOS team on the side. Would you also join us at the end? Right. Thanks. Awesome. You have the boards, right? Yeah. Good job. Okay. We also have seats on the first row here. If you guys have anyone would like to join us on the first row, maybe the recruiters. Anyone? Fiona, really? First row? Yeah? Okay. All right, so make sure everyone is gonna be in the photo. Awesome. All right, are you ready? Yep, no worries. Welcome to join us. All right, let's give your beat smile.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you everyone. All right, so we're gonna have a networking session. These are the QR code you can scan to learn more about BBPOS stories and the job positions they are having. And of course, you can also share your feedbacks for the session on the upper part. We're gonna come back at 3, all right, 3 o'clock to have more panel discussions. And we'll have hardware and software team to share more about their work life and work experience. Thank you. Snacks are behind. You can feel free to have snacks and drink. I'm so happy to see this networking session. And don't worry, we're going to have more networking time later after the panel discussion, because there's a lot of more stories that we wanted to share with all of you guys, all right? So remember to grab your seat back and make sure that you don't drop the food or the stuff on the floor. If you need help, let us know. The rubbish is at the very end of the hallway. Just help us to bring it to the rubbish bin, all right? Okay, are you guys back? All right. Now we're gonna start the second part of the event for today. So you're gonna go through 2 panel discussions, or more like 1 panel discussion and 1 career stories. And panel discussion is gonna be conducted by our BBPOS and Stripe Terminal engineering team. All right. So after that, we're gonna have a Mandarin session for the employee career stories, and gonna have speed interview at 3:50. All right. So without further ado, let us welcome our panel speakers for today. First of all, I'd like to welcome Jimmy, the Wayne, VP of Hardware Engineer, Wayne, and Jimmy, Chief Software Architecture and Co-founder, and Josh, Staff Software Engineer, and Dave, Staff Mechanical and Industrial Designer. Let's give a round of applause. Welcome. Oh yeah, all right. So now I'm gonna invite you guys to have a self-introduction first, and we're gonna take a dive of your journey to fintech industry and what drew you to BBPOS and Stripe. Now, Jimmy.
So I'll start first.
All right.
I'm Jimmy Tang. I'm the Chief Software Architect and co-founder of BBPOS. So over 20 years ago, the 3 co-founders of BBPOS set up a company and design house basically, and helped one of the clients to design a mobile terminal, payment terminal. And this is the first time we designed a device that helped to accept payments. And that was around 2003, it's a long time ago. So, and then fast forward to 2007, and Apple iPhone came out in that year. So we have a new idea. How about we use the computing power and the communication modem in a smartphone, and together with a card reader, we can accept payment. You make the payment much easier and much more cost effective actually. And then we start a new company called BBPOS, and we apply for some patents on this technology, and we built the first mobile POS dongle that plugs into your audio jack interface, which is the most common one at that time. So after 18 years, I'm here now. So it's an interesting journey.
Wow, thank you for sharing. And what about Wayne?
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. I'm Wayne Gan. I'm now the VP of Engineering in BBPOS, including the mechanical engineering and electronic engineering. I joined BBPOS over 6 years ago, and then in the past I worked in other electronic industry for more than 20 years. And then date back to 2019, I have a chance to meet one of the BBPOS co-founder. And then I immediately find that BBPOS is an energetic and dynamic company who focuses in fintech and POS payment industry. More importantly, I find that every employee in BBPOS, just like Jimmy, they have dreams, but they are not only thinking, they are executing. And then this is one thing. On the other hand, they always would like to push the BBPOS to the next level. So in view of this golden chance, I joined BBPOS and then work closely with CTO and the engineering teams, and then up to now. So this is my story.
All right, and Josh, as a software engineer in Stripe?
Yeah, my name's Josh. I'm a staff engineer on Terminal. I've worked on software that was very close to hardware for 10 or 15 years before this. I worked at Amazon on their Kindle tablets. I worked at Oculus building VR headsets. And I knew about Stripe and the sort of quality of engineering that they had. And I sort of learned that they had a pretty small hardware business at the time. And I know nothing about payments when I found out about this. And I thought it was a great opportunity for me to use the skills that I already had to sort of help this small team accomplish their very big goals. And so I joined and have been learning about payments ever since to sort of figure out how I could utilize my skill set in this new space.
All right, and Dave?
Hello, I'm Dave. I am a physical product designer, so I do industrial design and mechanical engineering. I joined Stripe fairly recently. I joined about 3 months ago. So my answers are not baked. But so I came from a product background doing consumer products. I was at HTC for a long time. I was making the iPhone at the first round in 2007. So I've been in this for a little while. But I mostly work with really small teams. And so I like to do all the stuff for the design and the engineering. And I received a phone call from one of our teammates on the terminal side. He said, hey, we have this really small team inside of Stripe that's working with a fairly small team over in Greater China, and they're getting a lot of stuff done. We need someone to come in and help to intermediate between what Stripe does and what BBPOS is doing, and we want someone who has your breadth of experience. And I was like, okay. So I've never been in fintech before. This is my first time. It's an awesome learning opportunity, and it's an exciting thing also, because I think it sounds very silly, but everyone buys things. So you're working on things that touch the entire world all the time, all the different cultures, all the different ways people interact. It's not unlike what I did before in cell phones in that way, where just everyone has interaction with it. And so the opportunity to touch lots of lives is really high, and it's quite exciting.
Wow, thank you so much for the sharing. And of course, speaking of team, I'd like to have the first question for Jimmy and Wayne. Well, how is your current engineering team set up? And is there any difference now comparing to before the acquisition?
So in BBPOS, there are two main arms of engineering, namely hardware and software. Yes. So under hardware, there's also some sub-teams like mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. And under software, we have very different types of software actually. We have a firmware, we have a SDK, we have a ROM, Android ROM, and we have a backend. So these are the teams, different teams inside BBPOS. So before the acquisition, Stripe is already one of the largest, actually it's the largest customer of BBPOS. And after the acquisition, we have daily interaction with more, within the engineering teams. Actually, we have also much more cross teams interaction as well. So we have daily meetings and make use of the time overlap in the morning time and their evening time. So yes, we have a daily interaction non-stop basically. And lastly, of course, we have a new Taiwan office. So that's why we are all here. And we have acquired a lot of new talents they are very proud of right now.
Wow. All right, Wayne.
So for my hardware teams that I mentioned, including ME and EE. And then basically we have two R&D centers, one in Hong Kong, well established, and then now the Taiwan, newly established. So that's why, as said by Jimmy, we actively recruit talents that no matter your engineers, team lead. After the acquisition, after 3 years, I have noticed that now we are very focused, and then we have dictated ourselves to develop post hardware well defined by Stripe. This is one thing. And the second is that now our goal, schedule, priority are super clear. This is also very beneficial to the hardware team, because actually then we can let every team member, they know how to make their contribution in order to fulfill the overall goal. So that's why after acquisition, I find that my team is more united and also more efficient.
Nice. Would you share a little bit the location that you guys are based in, like Hong Kong where and Taipei where? Yeah.
Yes, and okay. For my hardware team, is Hong Kong. You mean the exact location?
Yeah, exact location. Maybe
it's in
people are interested.
I don't know whether you know this area. It's in New Territories, west part of Hong Kong.
I see.
Kowloon Island, I should say.
I see. And Jimmy, the Taipei office?
No, so I'm also from Hong Kong.
Sorry.
So,
the new branch that you mentioned.
I forgot to mention the three co-founders are from Hong Kong. They set up a company in Hong Kong.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the clarification. All right, that's great. And okay, then I have the next question then, because we have, BBPOS engineers in Hong Kong and also now in Taiwan, right? And we have Stripe engineers in the United States. You guys are working across different time zones and culture. How do you collaborate and work with each other? For maybe Josh and Dave?
Yeah, I'll take this. So it is team dependent, right? So the physical product design side that I work with, the teams are relatively small. So I'm the only person on the Stripe side in the US who's doing that on the mechanical side. I also have a counterpart doing electrical engineering. So the two of us, the entire Stripe hardware engineering team. And so as a result, we try to be much more responsive to the BBPOS team, which is quite a bit larger. So they're the ones all executing on that. So I stay up quite late to take Zoom calls with my team. I do a lot of Slack messaging to do like light interactions to try to keep it together. But it's also worth noting that this stuff's evolving, right? So like the Taiwan office is growing. And so it's going from not just like Hong Kong and the San Francisco office, but now Hong Kong and Taipei and San Francisco. And so the more we spread our team, the more we grow, the more opportunities we have to work together digitally first, right? So again, lots of Zoom, lots of Slack, lots of Google Docs, trying to communicate those things together and making sure that we're interoperating. But again, also recognizing how we let each person go and do their independent work so that you're empowered to go do what you need to do, and we only come together when we need to work together as collaborators. So we're understanding our division of responsibilities. So there's a lot of opportunity for independent work to try to drive your stuff forward, and then we're coming together as a team where it's necessary to work as a unit.
Yeah, I think the other thing that comes into play here is that we are one team that's trying to collaborate. And so I think everybody sort of makes compromises. We figure out who should be working late to have early morning meetings, things of that sort. And we try to take turns so that it's fair for everybody that's on the team. And we also try to make this happen, you know, once or twice a week at most, instead of having unpredictable schedules. The other thing that I wanted to add on is that we try to co-locate teams and time zones with what the responsibilities are. And so your core responsibility will be shared with somebody that's in the same time zone as you or in the same office as you, so you can really get to know the team and what you're working on. And so we can minimize how much you need other teams outside of your time zone. Obviously, we want teams to be on the same page about what's important and what we're working on together, but that shouldn't be every day. That should be sort of teams working independently and knowing what their team is responsible for.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing the collaboration, the synergy between the teams, right? When it comes to POS system, right, the point of sales payment solutions that you guys are building here, and what role does BBPOS hardware and software team plays, right? And how do they contribute, which is different from the Stripe team? Maybe I'll have hardware team first, Wayne.
Maybe start by myself first.
Yeah.
I think talking about the hardware first, I think the hardware teams in between BBPOS and Stripe is quite unique, as said by Dave. Then only two staff in Stripe, for the hardware. But actually, the hardware team is mainly responsible for the dynamic and flexible solutions to the Stripe customer. And for example, that Dave is working on the ID, then we can very flexible to provide different ID or different hardware configuration. And then we can swiftly to provide total solution to our customer. I think this is quite different from the other teams in Stripe. Yeah.
Okay, and anything to add on for maybe Dave?
Yeah, for the hardware side, the other thing I'll say is it's very clear that BBPOS is the leader in the technical execution. That's the clear and obvious starting point. They have a lot of experience in point of sale solutions. There's all the security stuff that goes into those backends, things that even though I have decades of experience building electronics, I had no experience in. And that's a deep expertise that BBPOS brings, in addition to the broad expertise of being able to build good physical product, not only mechanical like I do, but also electrical, firmware, all the bring up. So then what's the role of what I do at Stripe as differentiated? It's more interacting with the customer base, and those customers are both internal to Stripe, whether they're marketing teams or product teams that are defining what will be successful for our merchants, the people actually who use these things to process payments, and then even interacting with some of our bigger customers and clients who want to use those things so that we know we're building the right product. So there is a flow of information from the people who are going to pay us to build them solutions through Stripe and some of their people, myself as well, and then moving on with BBPOS, who have to really own the final implementation. And we collaborate throughout that. I don't want to make it sound like it's only one way. It's all absolutely a dialogue, but the specific ownership does vary between what Stripe has to do every day and what BBPOS has to do every day.
Wow. What about software team? Like Jimmy, would you share, or Josh? Yeah.
Okay. BBPOS team we provide the basis and the device platform for Stripe team to build on top of it. For example, they have to build end-to-end payment to provide the function. And the second thing is that we also is responsible. BBPOS is responsible for the certification part of the device. So there are lots of different cost scheme that you have to fulfill their requirements, and also we have secure requirements, we have different compliance requirements. To certify this device suitable for the payment, we have to go through a lot of different certification process, and that's why our product life cycle is a bit longer than a regular consumer products as well. And the last thing is that because we have to actually manufacture the device, so we have to provide the tools, the tooling, and that will be used on the manufacturing line. So that's the difference.
Josh?
Yeah, I think the way that Stripe Terminal works on the software side is very different than how a lot of teams at Stripe work. It takes us much longer to sort of diagnose problems that might be in the field. We have to spend a lot of additional time making sure that we have diagnostics on those readers because we serve physical goods to merchants and we can't get those back easily. I think the stakes when we get it wrong are also much, much higher than on other teams at Stripe. It takes us more than a year to develop hardware. We have to send those to our customers. We have to do in-person certifications. And if we get that wrong, it's very time expensive and money expensive for us to make changes to that hardware or to the merchant experience. And so I think we spend a lot of time up front, both across hardware and the software teams, to make sure that we know what we're building and why we're building it, and to make sure that we have the right data to know if our software is working in the field, because it's so expensive if we get it wrong.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing the scenario and examples like that for us to imagine a little bit, right? I think because we also have a very important session today, because a lot of them are coming here for an interview, right? So in your experience, what makes an engineer a good fit into your team culture and work style? Right? I'd like to address this question to Jimmy and Dave.
Okay. As you know, Stripe is the leader in the payment industry. So we should aim for very high quality, and we should also think, how can we make the product even better so that our user has the best experience when they are using our device to accept payments. So the other thing is that let me think. So we are a global team. We have different teams and distributed locations. So we have to have good communication and good documentation to make sure that all the teams are aligned. And so we should be very proactive and speak out your thoughts and ideas so that we are all aligned and achieve the common goals.
Yeah, what about Dave?
Yeah, I think to expand on that, because it's the same idea that I'm having, is we really do need people to take a lot of ownership over their product and get their work done independently. So there'll be a lot of time where you go heads down, you design something, you document your work, you show how that's going to be ready, and you share it out to the team, both so they can integrate it into their work, but also so they can verify that everything's being done at a high level of execution. So that requires both the ability to be individually focused and quite independent, in no small part because we are working in different geographies, but then also to recognize how those things have to come together, like little puzzle pieces. If you don't know how to integrate your work into somebody else's, it's not going to come together. And I also think within the hardware group, very specifically, we have a bunch of different projects going on at any given time in different build stages. So understanding when things are a little bit flexible and understanding when things are quite fixed, you have to change your mindset about how much detail you're attending to at any time. And so the ability to change your context quite a lot, understanding different stages of the design process, different places on the globe, you're constantly switching your thinking, but making sure that that's still consistent and rigorous in your documentation is going to make it more successful.
Oh, thank you. So a good team player and communicator, right? Make sure you showcase that during your interview later. All right. And last question for you guys. What advice can you share with the engineering candidates today, especially for the technical interview preparation? Maybe I'll address this question to Josh and Wayne. Yeah, Josh?
Yeah, from my perspective, a lot of us up here did not come from fintech or know about payments. I think for me, the most important thing is how you all approach problems, how you learn new things. I think it's interesting to find out what your past experience is and how you can apply that to new problems that you've never seen before. I think even all of us that have been doing payments for a long time now, like we're still running into problems that haven't been solved yet or new payment technologies that we have to learn. And so for me, the most important thing is, can you solve new problems that you've never seen before? Are you able to apply your experience in new and interesting ways? I think the other important thing is, do we want to be on a team with you, right? Like you are going to be working with us and communicating on new projects with us, and being able to communicate your ideas and show your work and sort of like be able to be part of that team experience is very important because we are going to be working together so closely.
For my side, actually some tips. And then I always have some situational question for you. It's better to use your previous experience, for example, how you debug, how you design, so that it makes us easier to assess your skill sets and also how you fit these positions. And especially for ME and EE, practical skills, hands-on, and engineering mindset are much more important than the others. So that's all for my tips.
Thank you so much for the tips. And of course, we still have a little bit of time, so I'd like to open to the floor for 2 questions, if that's okay. 3 any questions for the speakers here? No. All right. Oh, it's the same gentleman again.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, this is Kevin again. I would like to know about the, you don't have your own factory, so you must rely on OEM or ODMs, and how you collaborate with your OEM ODM partners, and is there anything you can experience, like you can share?
Sure. So part of the reason we are here in Taiwan, and also part of the reason we are in southern China, is because those are the manufacturing centers of the world right now. It's the leading edge in all these capabilities. So we do want to use the capabilities of a global vendor base. You also saw that we're building out in Vietnam and Thailand, right? And so it is important for us to work with the best in the business and to make sure that we're using their skills as well. So we have a couple of different models. Like one, we'll do internal work where we do full detail design and then use factories as contract manufacturers or OEMs. We're also increasingly moving towards JDM programs where we can have an opportunity to do product definition in terms of the specifications and the design requirements. We'll still have some stuff we need to specify, like what the actual system looks like and how we're going to build on top of that. But then having more participation from our local vendor base to do piece part design and help us to move more quickly, right? So like part of the way we're staffing up and building those office headcount is going to allow us to build more product, but also working with partners that can move as fast as we want to, is going to help us build more partners. So you're right that we don't wholly own any manufacturing facilities, but we have a fairly competent supply base we work intimately with, and we're growing that supply base right now as well.
And just to supplement that, for daily executions, except that the engineering teams, we also have so-called MT, MPE, day-to-day basis, working with the OEM. So that's to ensure the quality of the product is good. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, sorry, because we have a speed interview later, so we will wrap this around. Thank you so much again. Once again, let's give a big round of applause. We'll have a networking session later. All right. Thank you. All right, and we're probably going to be very excited about this upcoming session, because this session we're going to do in Mandarin. 我们用中文来分享这个 employee career stories. These are a BBPOS team in Taiwan. And for those people who need translation, again, a gentle reminder, you can use Google Translation to go through the Mandarin. All right, this part is going to be Mandarin. All right, okay. Now, let's welcome our team. Welcome.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Tim。
大家好，我是 Matt。
我们是
Team
Matt。
然后我是 Twitter， 那我也是他们的 Team Matt。
对，
大家好。
那希望大家以后都是我们的 Team Matt， 这样对。不好意思哦，我们回到前页。好，那简单开场以后，我们来正式介绍自己。那我是 Tim， 我目前在 SDK Team 担任Software Engineer。那今年6月，就是这个月，将会满我第1年。那所以很开心可以今天在这边跟大家分享 这一年来所见所得。那工作之余呢，我是一个我喜欢跑步，那我有2个小孩，那很有趣的是，他们的昵称叫做 Google and Apple。
那我打岔一下，那你要不要再生2个？一个叫 BBPOS， 一个叫帅。
我觉得可能要倒过来，因为我I'm the father of Google and Apple， 对不对？但是BBPOS 跟 Stripe 是我的衣食父母，是我的 father 这样。
啊 ，OK。
对，所以该有尊敬还是要有。对。好，那接下来就换妹子介绍。
好，大家好，我是 Matt， 我是这边的 Senior Android SDK Engineer。然后这边介绍非常简单，就是我是一个 foodie， 而且我是一个 peak lover。那刚刚我在 rehearsal 介绍这个的时候 ，Josh 问我一个问题说，这个 foodie 跟 peak lover 他们是一起的吗？我说不是，foodie 跟这个 peak 不是我爱吃猪，对不对？他们分开的。是。
OK， 那我就是 Twitter， 对，然后我是 SQA 的 Automation Engineer。
果然是 teammate 哦。
对，我非常影响的，对。那我是他们3个里面加入最久的，那我是去年2月加入，所以已经1年多了，老屁股了，对。然后那我的兴趣就是一个 nerd， 平时打电动，然后会我一些动手玩创意。那前面这个就是我们可爱的 HR team， 希望说，你有3D 列印机，那可不可以帮我印这个？然后就帮我印出来了，对。
好，那这边我再帮我补充一下，那 Twitter 也是我们去年度的Employee Recognition Award 的其中一个得主，这样，非常杰出。好，那就回到我们正题，就是我想用贾博士曾经说过一句话来做一个开场。他曾经说过，You cannot connect the dot looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward。这句话其实可以有很多的解释方式哦，就是可以套用在各的场景。那在找工作这件事情，其实也是蛮适用的。就是我们通常不能够知道说，你到底适不适合加入这家公司，这个工作到底适不适合我。我们只有真的去花时间准备面试，然后去请假，然后去考试，然后真的加入那家公司以后，可能还要2到3个月以后，我们才能够真的了解这家公司。到底在做什么，然后适不适合我这样，所以我觉得今天这个 session 呢，包含我们的 session 以及今天的活动啊，以及等下的 networking， 都是一个非常好的资源，可以让大家做使用。那你就可以不用浪费这么多的resource 来知道说，这个公司到底适不适合我，或者是它吸引的地方到底是什么。那回过头来，有我的经验分享给大家。就是我其实工作也有大概15年以上了，那大大小小的公司都有参加过。我曾经想要自己创业过，那我也曾经加入一个创业公司当他们的第一号员工，有那种很小的团队。那我也有加入很大的团队，就比如说我加入过 Amazon 或者是台积电。那在这么多的经验里面呢，我觉得。其实 BBPOS 或者是 Stripe， 它提供给我们了一个有以下这3个非常好的一个特点。第一个就是我们的 commitment to technical excellence。大家知道我们比如说2023年我们 process 了多少 payment volume 吗？有人想试试看吗？我们有1兆美金的那个payment volume， 那这个是占了全世界的1%。的 global GDP， 那在2024年，这个数字又变更多了，有1.4兆，然后大概占了1.3%的这个比例。那回过头来说，我们要做到这么好的一个境界，就代表我们的产品一定非常好，我们比别人，我们比我们的竞争者可能做得更好，我们才能够。达到这样的境界嘛？那我们在这么大的 volume 的压力下，我们做出来的 uptime 是多少？我们可以做到99.999%的 uptime。那就是说，我们1年里面可能只有5分 中是不可用的。那这个是一个非常了不起的成绩啊！虽然我不是一个 backend guy， 但是我还是觉得，那我们一定花了非常非常多的心力来才能去把这个完成。那其实不只是我们的 backend， 其实就像刚其他 leader 所提到的，就是 quality 是我们最重要的一环。那我们要把我们的产品做到最极致，我们才能够让客户买单，然后让我们的产品推销到更多更广的地方去。所以这个就是我们的很重要的第一点。那这个也是我们的护城河，让我们可以跟别人不一样，然后让公司可以持续的更顺畅的运转。那要做出这么好的产品，背后要有什么样的支持呢？就是我们的 engineer team， 我们有非常 high performing 的 engineer team， 然后我相信我的同事都非常优秀，包括我也是啊，对不对？那个 HR 有跟我们说这个 session 非常轻松，所以大家可以放自然一点，不然我也会很紧张这样。然后其实很多员工都很优秀，那大家也都非常有 ownership。然后其实很多专案都是由 engineer 内部 driven 的，比如说我们每年都会有 hackathon， 那有些 hackathon 的产品甚至会变成我们的 production 的产品。那我们也会有很多cross team， 有 engineer driven 的 cross team 的 collaboration， 然后让我们把事情做得更好。那再来，我们有这么优秀的员工，那他们彼此之间的关系是什么？他们是互相竞争的吗？还是他们会互相 support 彼此？其实刚刚有提到，就是我们其实是互为被告的。像我们会试着把我们的 knowledge 全部都写下来，变成 document。那这样好处就是，我可以随时放假，其他人可以来顶替我，我可以不用有任何压力。那我们也有非常好的 global mindset。刚刚有提到，我们在很多地方都有办公室。那我们拿我来当例子好了，我其实有台湾的 manager 这边会 conduct one on one， 那我可以跟他分享我的工作上的困难啊等等。那我在美国那边，我有另外一个有点像 virtual 的 manager， 他也会跟我约 one on one， 然后可以跟他讨论工作上的事情等等。那这个都是可以让我成长的一个好的方法，这样。那接下来我可能会稍微讲一下我们的 integration 是怎么整合的。我其实是一个非常纯的软体工程师出发的。那这个是我所理解的非常简化版的我们的组织架构图，就是我们是以 payment 的这个 POS device 做起家的。那 M1 跟E1就是我们的 hardware team。那我们的这个 hardware 如果是一个 Android device 的话，它在上面就会有 ROM team 的引爆，把 Android OS 做一点客制版，然后加上来。然后在这个 hardware 上还会有一块secure processor， 它是拿来运作我们的分位的。这个分位是专门处理信用卡资讯的。那这个分位呢，没有任何人可以跟它互动，只有透过我们自己所开发的 SDK。那我们会提供这 SDK 给客户，让客户使用它的 App 做 integration。然后在刷卡的时候，可能我们会把资料透过我们的 backend 传到背后的发卡银行等等。那在这整个 flow 呢，刚刚其实有提到 QA 是很重要的，它可能会 block 每个环节，确保一切都是很棒的这样。那我们最近也新发展出了一个 team 叫 Dev Infra， 它可以帮我们做integration， 然后 CI/CD， 然后以及做 end-to-end test 等等。那大家就可以知道说，多了 hardware 的这个 component 出来，它其实就让这整件事情变得更复杂、更有趣。我可以提供几个让大家想想看啊，就比如说我们有 hardware， 那我们要怎么做测试？我们要怎么做纯软体的测试？我们其实在有做了一个叫做分位 simulator， 因为我们的分位目前只 之前是只能 run 在 hardware 上嘛，那我们有了这个 simulator 之后，它就可以 run 在一个纯软体的空间上，所以我们就可以很轻松的做测试，然后 scale 可能到100个test case 啊等等以上。然后再来是像大部分的 app 工程师，我们都是 ship 一个 app 出去给 user， 但是我们并不是，我们是 ship SDK。那我们要怎么样测试这个 SDK 呢？我们是release 一个 test app 给我们的 QA 做测试呢，还是我们有其他方法？我们其实最近就是由 SDK 跟 QA team 跟 Dev Involved team 有一起合作一个专案，叫做 Non-UI 的 Testing Framework。那就是让 QA 可以透过这个 framework 可以更自由的去测试这整套SDK 所提供的功能，而不用仰赖于QA 去用手去点这样。好，在这边大家不知道会不会觉得很枯燥啊？但是我是觉得很有趣，就是我们透过很多方法，然后试着去解决真实的问题，然后有各个 team 的 support， 让我们可以把事情做得更好。那接下来我们就会请 Jeter 来跟我们分享。
好，那这边就要 share 一下我之前刚才 Tim 提到的，我们有一个合作的机会。那我们这边当初就是 SQA Team 有一个需求开出来，那我们希望说我们可以多一个不需要用 UI 去控制SDK， 然后去跟分务做 interaction。那我们希望说可以透过不同方式，那我们就想说 ，OK， 我有这个需求，那我就希望第一个，我希望去跟他们去讨论说我们要怎么完成这件事情。那第一个就是，当然我要跟 Team 讲清楚说我要什么。那虽然我 SQA 其实什么都不是很了解，然后可能就会开了很多天马行空的想象，就是说我想要这个，那你能不能帮我完成？那 Team 就会说 OK， 你可能不行。所以我们就是会去了解说我们要什么，那他们可以帮我完成什么。那这件事达成之后，我们就会去做一个把 document 做记录下来，那是我们就可以去说把所有事情 align 下来，然后我们就可以除了align 起来之外，我们还可以邀请像 Stripe 那边的工程师一起来加入这个东西的 review， 那至少让大家都在同一个stamp page 上面。那这件事情结束之后，我们就会再去开始做 prototyping。那 prototyping 我们就发现说，我可能他们做出来给我的东西怎么 run 不了，那我就再去麻烦 team， 就说team， 为什么这个东西不能 work？ 那有什么办法？我这边是不是我这边做错的，或是可能哪边也出问题？那我们就是透过这个方式一直在互相沟通，然后把这整件事情用好。那这个过程中也会去把 document 再重新更新一次，那至少确保说我们东西出来有 document 存在。那像是我请假了，那下一个人也知道这个东西是在做什么的，然后 Stripe 那边也知道我们现在在做什么。那他们也有发现说 OK， 这个东西可能对他们有帮助，那他们也可以拿去使用。那他也可以透过这 document 去知道这个东西怎么使用。OK， 那刚刚听完我跟 Tim 的整个分享，可能会比较生硬一点、无聊一点。那我想要邀请我们的 Matt 来分享我们的 BBPOS 的一个 working culture。
大家好，我是那个 Peter Robert， 在这边是 Senior Android SDK Engineer。那这边我介绍的东西可能就会跟技术比较没有相关，都会是完全的主观，没有任何一点客观，然后会去分享我认为在我们这个 global 的这个 environment 里面，你可能要具备什么样的态度，然后或是你怎么样去工作会更有效率。然后这边这个就是我，然后最旁边的是 Tim， 对，这是我们4月去那个 San Francisco 的 headquarter 的时候拍的照片，对，这是早上6点吧。对，那第一个我想讲的就会我的 slide 当然所拥有4页，那其实很快我们过一下。第一章就是什么样的特质会，是我自己的观察，什么样的特质会让你在这边可以成长，可以让你的履历上面可以增加更多的价值。 那第一点，我觉得讲到前面大家很多工程师提到，就会是 ownership 的部分。那 ownership 的部分，我个人会分成2个，一个是你是 own 你自己的你的 daily work， 然后你会保证说你去 deliver 出来的每一个 feature 经过手开发任何专案的品质都是高的，那是最基础的你的 ownership。那再更进一步的话，就是你是你的 product 你 feature 的 owner， 那你是负责人，你就会想要让你的产品，让你的 SDK 或让你的 hardware 让你的分位越来越好，你会有不断想要去精进你的产品的这个想法。那在 BBPOS 这里就会是一个非常适合你的环境，因为我们会有足够在你完成你的日常工作以后，你会有足够的空间跟自由度，你的 manager 会很支持你去发挥你的 idea， 去想办法去drive 它，去 deliver 它，让它实现。那下一个就会是你要知道你现在要做什么，就是你要有很强的观念，每一秒你都要去知道说 ，OK， 我现在有 BBPOS 的工作，我有 Stripe 那边工作，我可能像我也有跟中国那边做过那边的专案。那这边是你要怎么去知道你现在当下你的时间跟你的精力要花在什么事情上，然后你的 idea 哪一个现在对你的团队、对你的 user 是最重要的，所以这是你需要去具备的特质。然后再下一个当然就是 communication， 像刚刚都讲过，你的 interview 或从 interview 开始，就会鼓励你跟 interviewer 这样去communicate。那像我们是一个 global team， 我们要 cross time zone， 那你就要更知道怎么去沟通。那这边沟通就不止说你要说的可以让别人懂，那你也要可以听得进去别人说什么，同时间你也有办法去贩卖你的 idea 给你的 manager 或其他的 team member， 去说服他们，去对你的点子买单，然后大家一起去把这个点子推到实现。那这边是我自己在这边工作以后，今年1月加入到现在大概快半年，这是我自己认为你在这边工作上可能怎么样会更有效的几个重点跟可能一些文化。那第一个刚刚就是想要 communication 的部分，其实前面 Dave 跟 Josh 也有讲到，我们因为是我们跟 San Francisco 现在45个小时的时差，所以很多时候会更倾向用文字来沟通，可能就是像 Slack 或者你是 Jira Ticket， 或者是说Google Document， 比如我们会是非同步的在上面进行一些你的 RFC 的 idea 的讨论。那下一个就是说，刚刚有讲到说，如果你是有足够 ownership 的话，这边是有很多的空间可以去发挥的。但是你把你的 idea 讲出来，其实是基于你的能力、你的经验，你有足够的高度去找出我们专案可以更好的地方，这很好。但是下一步怎么样去让你的专案这个 idea 可以实现，就是你要怎么去 own 它，怎么去 drive 它，怎么去 deliver 它，让它真的应用在我们公司的产品上，就是更难能可贵的一件事情。所以这边鼓励大家，你加入以后，你就去主动去 push 它，大家都会很你的 manager 或者 team member 都会很努力的去帮助你把这个 idea 付诸实践。那下一个就是前面一直讲到 quality， 我们是一个 payment 的 service 的公司嘛，所以其实很多时候像 Nico 有讲过，我们的 quality 应该要是 over deadline， 意思是说我们 deadline 应该是要 deliver 出一个高品质然后非常完整的产品。那当我们现在如果一个 deadline 已经先靠近了，但是你的品质还不够好，那对我们来说它就不是一个该被 deliver 的产品，那对我们而言这个 deadline 就没有意义。那该 pending 的应该是被 pending 应该是 deadline 而不是我们的 quality。那最后2个是start with user， 这比较像这个 mindset 的部分，你要怎么样去思考？这边 user 可能是我们SDK 的 client side、code side， 也可能是其他的 team， 就是我们跟 SUQA team 合作的专案，或者是你跟 Stripe 跟香港跟中国合作的，都可以把它变成为 user。我们要做的事情是解决我们在产品跟技术上面遇到的问题，而不是只是单纯我们工程师自己的浪漫。对。那最后一个是 one-on-one culture， 这是一个很特别的文化。其实我之前也在一些其他的美国公司或是德国公司工作过。那在这些地方都会有 one-on-one 的 culture。那你要怎么去？但在这边为什么不一样？就是像这边我就有跟伟明跟 Josh 跟 Nico 都有 one-on-one 过。这边 Stripe 很鼓励你去BBPOS 很鼓励你去主动的去跟 book 别人的时间。所以就如果等一下会后 networking 的时候，你看到 Josh 就不要放过他，就是赶快去跟他讲话，对，就是 book 他每一分每一秒去跟他做 one-on-one 这样，就是你可以去鼓励你去跟不同职能或比更 high level 的人 one-on-one 去分享，去 share 你的 problem， 然后他们对。那最后一个就是这是更 chill 一点，就是我们的一些我们这边 environment 有什么扶持，像 我们有 team building 啊，每个月会有一点点 budget， 就希望这个 budget 未来可以再增加一点，对不对？届时向某些人喊话。然后下一个就是career development team building 还有这中间是我们会Christmas party 啊，或是那个Spring Annual Dinner， 我们会去香港。那右上角是你也有机会去那个 San Francisco 的 Oyster Point 的 headquarter， 有机会啊，对。然后career development 就是这边的 manager， 其实像你跟他们one，或者跟 engineer one， 他们都会问你说how can I help you？ 就是我可以帮助你什么？你有什么问题要给我？对，我觉得在外商文化里面，就是 manager 或你的同事都很会去想办法帮助你成长，这是他们的有点像他们的 objective 之一。最后就是 employee well-being， 就是我们的福祉，我觉得最重要的就是我们有一定比例的 work from home 的比例。那除此之外呢，还有就是我们相信你的 ownership， 我们相信每个人都会对自己的时间负责。所以当你有时候可能你时间上你可能要接送小孩提早到公司，提早离开或怎么样，在这边会是非常弹性的，只要你能保证你的产品是可以稳定良好的做完的，对。那最后这是 HR 要求我在最后这边放一句话，我本来想要写我爱工作，工作爱我，但是好像是太过就是给大家压力有没有？所以我就请 ChatGPT 帮我优化一下，就是在这边呢，我们是一个 work-life balance 的公司，对，但是我认为你进来以后，你的成长是因为你的工作上面你有足够的自由度，然后只要你够主动，然后够会把你的 idea 去实现的话，那你每天的工作呢，就会让你的有很多的事情可以写在你的履历上，你也可以学到更多不一样的经验。对，好对，然后我们这一 part 就到我们这边最后我们也有那个一些关于 interview 的 tips 要分享这边我们会一个人分享一个部分，那就会从我开始。那我开始的话，我会说如果你过了今天的 Spring Interview， 我们进到 Interview Flow 里面可以预想会有一关叫 System Design。那因为我本身是 Software Engineer， 所以我的建议只适用 Software Engineer， 如果是 Hardware， 我们可能就不适用。那你可以想象说 System Design， 可能有些人不知道它是什么，你可以想象你在跟你的 Team Map， 或是你在跟那个 Stakeholder， 他们有一个 Requirement 过来，你要跟他去讨论说我要怎么去 Clarify 他到底需要什么。然后专业能力上面我要提供他什么是 Technical Requirement。Non-technical requirement， 你要可以有足够的沟通能力去沟通，然后大家在取得共识以后，怎么去推进，用你的专业技术提供他多个 solution， 然后你可以给出 pros 跟 cons。那这是期间如果你越 higher level 的job level 的话，你就应该越是那个主导人，你要去尽量是由你去推进整个 System Design 的 flow， 然后到最后你也要去不断在你决定 solution 的时候，没有绝对的 solution， 只有相对正确的 solution， 你要怎么去说服让你的 interviewer 买单，那这就是你在 System Design 里面应该要做好的事情。对，那我分享到这边，下一个是让T 分享他的 tips。
好，那我想要介绍的是我们的 Coding Interview 的 tips。那 Coding Interview 的 tip，因为 coding 就是看你平常 coding 的速度嘛。那因为我们的考题可能也会有一点多文字，所以你可能要ask clarify question， 你可能要先了解，你的理解到底是不是对的，然后你可能要真的去选你平常熟悉的语法，而不要选一个很 fancy 的语言，但是你其实并不是太会用它，或者是你平常可能是透过 AI 的辅助，你可能很多指令都不知道，或者是你不是非常了解它底层是怎么运作的等等。那我们其实重点并不是在于你写了多少力扣，而是我们会想要知道你是怎么去思考这个过程，所以我们可能不会考什么太艰深的演算法，那你学那些可能对你实际工作可能也没有帮助。我们会更希望你可以告诉我们，你是怎么想，那你是怎么 approach 这个问题。好，以上谢谢。那我们再请 Jeter。
好，那我这边就补充一下，那个还有一关就是 experience and goal。那这一关主要是分享可能会问你说你过往的经验有什么是可以符合这份工作。那你们也可以follow 一个 model 叫 STAR， 那它主要就是 situation、task、action and 还有什么 result yes anyway 那基本上就是可以就透过这个 flow， 那去叙述你的故事。那你碰到了什么样的 situation？ 你接收到了什么 task？ 那你接收到这是什么task？ 然后你采取了什么 action 去完成这个 task？ 那你得到了什么 result？ 那透过这方式，可以让你的 interviewer 更了解你的故事。那这就是我想要给大家的建议。那 OK，
哎呀，继续 ，sorry，
没有。
结束了吗？
对。
哎，好，那我们再次感谢各位，不好意思 ，OK， 好，谢谢3位，然后可以回座了，谢谢。好，感谢你们分享。Enter to the speed interview session, and we're going to stop the live stream as of now. So we're going to say goodbye to the live stream participants. So bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right. Now, up next, how are